from a salesman to the MD to the man who bought away Macmillan East Africa. He's the owner of Judah Complex, a very prime property on Forest Road. His whole life he has done one thing, books. He identified his tree, publishing of books every day. That story is here. Then I took a journey and I read about another man, Paul Kinuthia. His story was too juicy. I had to look for some people to confirm whether it's true. This is the brain behind Nice and Lovely. He sold it to L'Oreal, the largest cosmetic company in the world, at 2 billion Kenyan shillings. Leave alone the other products. He started downtown Nairobi. Every single day of his life, manufacturing beauty products. Then I took a walk. I met a woman by the name Dr. Mary Okello. She started a small school behind her house. It started squeezing her family. That story now has become a McKinney Group of Schools. One of the few people who have been invited at Harvard School of Business to teach the students of the world how to do business. Every single day, school. Every single day, school. The stories I recorded here are not the only stories. But I can tell you this. You can succeed in anything you choose, but you can't succeed in everything. While studying the economic discrepancies of his country, Vilfredo Pareto concluded that 80% of the wealth was controlled by 20% of the populace. That has since been extended to different fields of endeavor, including that of motivation, to suggest 80% of your results come from 20% of your effort. The secret, therefore, is to identify the 20% that deliver 80% results. Selection is the name of the game. Wisdom is not just knowing what to do, but also knowing what not to do. Wisdom is not just knowing who to meet, but also knowing who not to meet. Focus is not knowing what to do. Focus is knowing what not to do. Focus is the ability to say no. This week on Wednesday, I met people, about 7 of them, a whole day. I lined them up, every one of them 1 hour. That's the only group I have met the whole of this month. And let me tell you the truth, I'm not meeting anyone else in Sense 101 Life Club. I love them a lot, but my time can't allow. I can only spare at most 2 days a month. Do they like it? No, they don't. But I don't have time for that. Wisdom is learning how to say no. And until you learn how to say no, you'll never move forward. Don't spread yourself too thin. Don't be available for everyone. There are good people in the sight of God. They are precious people before God. They are important people in the eyes of their families, but they might not be vulnerable to you and to your cause. Identify who not to see. Identify what not to do. Identify your tree. Step number 4. Build a business system. Build a business system. If you do not build a business system, you don't have a business, you are the business. You're worse off than the person with a monthly stipend, because when you fall sick, your business falls sick. A business system is a wealth creation vehicle that has clear rules, policies, and procedures that trained individuals can follow. And it has 6 fundamental features. Number 1, owner absence. That means it doesn't require your presence to operate. Number 2, attracts talents. People who have skills that you don't have can join your business. Number 3, attracts investors who can see there's a clear structure in which they are able to invest in. Number 4 is replicatable. You can duplicate the story. If you open a restaurant in Nanyuki, you can do the same in Meru and Nyeri and Nakuru, because the system is the same. You go cloning the story in different places. Number 5, it has a succession plan. Succession plan need not mean your children, but it means there's a structure in which other people can buy in to your organization. That means you and your business are two entities. If you get sick, it doesn't get sick. It is so clear how you're going to exit, although you're the founder. Sadly, many Africans never let go what they founded. And number 6 and the last one, it complies with statutory requirements. A lot of entrepreneurs in Kenya have 3 sets of books. There is the actual book. They know the truth about how their business is doing. Then they have the books that they give the bankers so that they can get higher facilities. They exaggerate the books to the bankers. And then there are the books they give to the taxman, which always record losses. And if you have 3 sets of books, then you don't have a business system. And I want to suggest today, while products can make you money, a business system will make you a fortune. And you know, what I'm suggesting, even if you are a beginner in business, you need a business system mindset. You know, my wife has been working with Safaricom for many years, and she has just decided to quit. She has decided to fire her boss. And when she told me the same, because she wanted to join me in what I'm doing, and she realized this is competing with her job in Safaricom, and now she has to join me in what I'm doing around the world, we agreed she's going to take 3 months to soul search, to decide exactly what she wants to do. And she decided she wants to do a salon. And what we decided to do from the very first day, there has to be a system. There's a clear point of sale, there's a clear HR system, there's a clear marketing infrastructure, there's a clear research and development, there's a way that we keep on researching. So the first shop was open September last year. The next one is July this month. This month I'm talking to you. She's here. Her staff are still working. She doesn't go to the salon. That's what I'm calling a business system. How many here today, for them to come to this meeting, they had to put 3 locks in their shop? No, don't lift up your hand. Because the only person you can entrust that shop is your wife, or your husband, or your son. How come a bank will have 200 branches and their main product is money? And you are selling hardware and you're fearing someone to steal. The difference is because you're lacking a what? System. A system. And this is one essence why we exist in Sense One Life Club. We can't finish this at the Nile Cruise. I'll actually be taking these people through how to make a business system. Prison Break Part 2 will be done at the Great River Nile. Let's go to number 5. Step number 5. Stay the course, don't quit. Step number 5, stay the course, don't quit. Colonel Hallett Sanders, if you like, born in Indiana, 1890. Lost his dad when he was 6 and dropped out of school in his 7th grade. He had to take care of his young brother and sister, cooking for them as the mother worked for many hours. And in his early days, he did very many odd jobs, from stoking the steam engines of the trains operating in the south, to selling insurance, selling lighting systems, operating a ferry boat, different types of things, until he found his tree at the age of 40. And he became a professional chef. And that's why, if you truly want to find out your tree, just don't go too far. Look around your interests. You'll be so surprised that everything you like, whether it's watching movies or reading books or traveling, there are 101 business ideas out of what you like. This is a man who liked cooking because he was cooking for his young brother and sister, and he found his tree right in that job. But until 22 years later, when he was 62, he was able to come up with a system that could be franchised. Kentucky Fried Chicken. And when he was 65, he decided to hit the road running. In his own car, he packed food supplies, and he went marketing door to door his recipe at the age of 65. I'm here to suggest it's never too late to win. It's never too late to make it. If someone could do it in his 60s, you are too young to quit. The Chinese raised a seed, and they called it the Chinese bamboo tree. They watered and fertilized the first year, nothing happened. Watered and fertilized the second year, nothing happened. They watered religiously and fertilized the tree the 4th year. They put the manure, they put the fertilizer, they did everything humanly possible. There are no symptoms of any progress. Somewhere in the 6th week of the 5th year, the tree began to grow. The Chinese bamboo tree grows roughly 90 feet high. There'll be times and moments when you're going to water and fertilize the opportunity garden with no tangible, visible results. But the greatest difference between winners and losers is the ability to hold on. The real measure of faith is the ability to hang on. Stay the course. I read of a story of some 3 bulldogs with some interesting behaviors. 2 bulldogs were in one compound and 1 bulldog was in a different compound, but they were neighboring compound. But the one that was all alone was a smaller bulldog than the other 2 big bulldogs. And one morning, 10 in the morning, the little bulldog decided to crawl into the compound with the 2 mighty bulldogs. It was beaten thoroughly. It was humiliated. It went back to nurse the wounds, crying in excruciating pains. The next day, exactly at 10 a.m., it crawled back to the compound with the 2 mighty bulldogs. It was so beaten, the nose looked like it was coming from a nose grinder. It burst its wounds at the open heavens, where the sun could nurse the wounds. It was humiliated the 2nd day. Never learnt a lesson. The 3rd day at 10 o'clock in the morning, crawled back to the home with the 2 mighty bulldogs. The ears were torn. The wounds were all over smearing. It was beaten thoroughly. Went back in pain. Cried the whole day. Never learnt a lesson. Went on the 4th day. On the 5th day. On the 6th day. When the little bulldog showed up on the 10th day, the 2 mighty bulldogs ran away to hide. They were too tired with the fight. And you know the message it communicated? I reign. I rule. You've given up on the fight. And President Dwight Eisenhower said, it is not the size of the dog in the fight. It is the size of the fight in the dog. It's always too soon to quit. One of the greatest generals in all times, General Douglas MacArthur, said, in war there is no substitute to victory. While age wrinkles the body, quitting wrinkles the soul. Let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. Every time you want to get into a new territory, you will be confronted by unfamiliar giants who try to stop you from expanding your domain. Respect yourself enough to say no to quitting. Fight till all trouble withers away. You know, we are living in a generation where people quit at a slight headache. I told my wife this: don't tell the pastor what happened to me last night, because I don't want him to have an opinion. Last night, I was in Aga Khan Hospital. I left the hospital at midnight. I was shivering. I didn't know how to do and how to behave today. I was going through a lot of tests. But I learned long ago, every time you want to do something, to get to a new territory, you are fought by unfamiliar spirits. And I say no to that. And I refuse to confess that. And I said, you know what? Nanyuki, we are going. And that's why I'm here today, because I refused to quit. He doesn't know that I'm under medication. And I didn't want to disclose, lest he fears how I'm going to deliver. You know, let me tell you this. You will never achieve anything if you quit. The success journey is uphill and rough. It is not for the faint-hearted. If success was easy, everyone would be successful. The journey is long. It is going to be tedious. But you've got to fight until all trouble withers away. You've got to fight until it gives way. When Mercy opened that salon, within 1 year, except Butter Shop, every other shop there had closed. That's Kenya for you. Every slight pressure, we give in. It's always too soon to quit. Stay the course. Defy the urge to quit. There's not a single door that will be locked for you if you knock loud enough and long enough. Keep knocking. Keep knocking. And Jesus said, knock, and the door shall be opened. Seek, and you shall find. Matthew 7:7. Step number 6. Adventure. Adventure. I read of a story of a reporter who went to a CEO and asked him the secret behind his success. And the CEO said 2 words: right decisions. Then the reporter asked him, and how did you learn how to make the right decisions? And the CEO said 1 word: experience. And the reporter decided to take the CEO to task. Sir, please tell me. And how did you get experience? And the CEO said 2 words: wrong decisions. You know, many of us wait until everything is clear. And I want to suggest 3 things about adventure in business. Are you ready? Number 1, create a lab environment. Create a lab environment. For those of you who were in school recently, lab is short form for laboratory. And you know, in experiments, most of them fail, only a few succeed. But you keep trying until you get the right experiment. Unfortunately, when you're doing experiments, you'll get a lot of critics coming along your way. When Jonas Salk was working on polio vaccine, he did it for 7 years. He said he learned that criticism comes in 3 stages. The first time people tell you you'll never make it. The second time, when you make a few progress, they come and tell you, by the way, whatever you're doing is not that important. And finally, when you succeed, they come and tell you, oh, we knew all along you're going to make it. Is that true? And I've seen it even in Sense 101. There are people who come when you start a meeting to check you out. And finally, when you succeed, they say, hey, you are meant for this. You are hired for this. Only when you succeed. Treat criticism as feedback. Don't be tarred by naysayers. No one has ever erected a statue in honor of a critic. Keep experimenting. Because when the forces of change outside your business become faster than the forces of change inside your business becomes obsolete. And there's nothing that epitomizes what I've just said than Telkom Kenya, the sleeping giant. They were busy putting telephone posts around the country when the world had moved on to mobile phone. They had the national goodwill, they had the infrastructure, they had the assets, but because they were slow to change, they were overtaken. Business today is moving at the speed of thought. We are doing several meetings about 6 countries in the next 6 months. We have not gone to the TV to advertise our meetings. And there are people here listening to me who are still fighting Facebook, who are still fighting WhatsApp. Hey, grow up, move on. The world has left the newspapers. You've got to move at the speed of the current age. Use them up for your own advantage. They can be tools of the enemy, but they can be tools of progress if you make them use of them properly. Are you with me? Number 2, about adventure. Enroll in the school of life. Enroll in the school of life. Sometimes I wonder why many entrepreneurs quit school. The likes of Bill Gates, Richard Branson, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, Steve Jobs. But did they really quit school? Not quite. They quit the traditional school and enrolled in the school of life where there is no graduation, where grades are marked in business turnover and your corporate social responsibilities. And some of you, the greatest struggle you're going to have in the school of life is to unlearn what you are taught in the corporate, because you had a detailed syllabus on when to wake up, when to go for lunch, when to do appraisals. And now you'll be ushered into a world where you've got to listen to your sixth sense, where you've got to obey your guts, where you've got to launch out even when the plan is not crystal clear, where you've got to try your exploratory wings. You see, when a bird is sitting on a branch, it doesn't fear whether the branch is going to collapse, because her faith is not on the branch. Her faith is on her wings. Do you trust your wings? Do you trust your ability to fly and explore infinite possibilities for which you are designed? Because you are designed for greatness, engineered for success, and endowed with the seeds of greatness. And number 3 about adventure, number 3, never reach a settlement. Never reach a settlement. If you're hearing my voice and you're in business already, and you're already so comfortable, no worries, you have reached a comfort zone, I suggest to you tonight, perhaps you're not moving fast enough. Perhaps you have stopped growing, and if you don't disrupt yourself, you're going to abort your destiny. Anytime when things are 100% under control, whatever venture you are in, I have a message for you. Disrupt yourself. Rupture the stitches. Burst off the seams. Tear down the seams. Destroy the riverbanks. And deal with the floods. Let's deal with a new challenge, the floods. You are never designed to reach a settlement. Many years ago, there is a gentleman who reached a settlement. And he said, look, I think I've worked enough. Now I have enough until I die. My soul relax. Take life easy. Eat, make merry. You have enough stores until the day you die. And the good Lord came down and told him, you fool, your soul is required of you tonight. Let me tell you, the moment you don't want to work anymore, because in your own opinion you have reached financial stability, the good Lord will take you away to stop consuming oxygen in vain. In this life you are meant to make a difference, not to reach a settlement. I hear people say, if it ain't broke, why fix it? The question is, when is it likely to be broke? Is there a better way of doing it? I can tell you there are many things we did without saying it was broke. We communicated even when there are no mobile phones. But there's a better way of doing it. Exploit. Number 7 and the last step. Build your legacy. Build your legacy. It's possible there's someone listening to me here who has been waiting for someday to start thinking about her legacy. She thinks it's about the aging. The reality is you're writing your legacy right now. It is better that you stop writing your legacy on your tombstones and you write it on people's hearts. Do something in this life that they can't erase from history. And that's why I want to suggest 3 things as my concluding remarks about building your legacy. Number 1, give back to the community for which your business depends. Your business has grown in a certain community. But before you even give back to the community, you first need to give to the immediate work environment. Your employees. Come with a profit sharing scheme. Let them enjoy your success story. Be proud that the families under your care are enjoying the work you're doing together. You see, eventually, you will never be remembered for what you do for yourself. You'll be remembered for what you do for others. Be a river, don't be a reservoir. You've been blessed. Pass it on. Pass the blessings and you'll never lack. Giving is an attitude of the giver. It is not a question of how much you have. You see, you make a living by what you get. You make a life by what you give. At the end of the road, you'll never be remembered by the harvest you reap. You'll be remembered by the seeds that you sow. I'm going to give you one of your take-home messages. Here's one. Here's one take-home message. Are you ready? Now, if you do enough for others, that is the easiest shortcut to your success. Now, I'll give you an example. Locally, we have organizations that have been investing in others. I've seen Wings to Fly by Equity Bank. KCB itself has an education foundation. What you may not realize these organizations are doing, when a child goes through education because it was sponsored by such a bank, when they grow up, they'll become loyal to that bank, and they might not come all alone. They might bring their families, and if they become a cabinet secretary, they might bring their whole ministry account to that bank. If you want to flourish faster, invest in others. It will always come back to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Secondly, to build your legacy, be a job creator. Be a conscious job creator. You know, on 17th of December 2010, Mohammed Bouaziz set himself ablaze because he was harassed by policemen. He was taking care of his 6 siblings and his widowed mama. And he was selling vegetables and fruits on a wooden cart when he was accosted by cops. His self-immolation resonated with the residents of that city, Sidi Bouaziz, and immediately went like bushfire across Tunisia. And eventually, that story duplicated the entire Arab world because one young man lacked a job, tried to make his ends meet, and the systems could not give him a chance. When I look at the local statistics that 5% of our youths do not have a job, Federation of Kenya Employers 2015 reports that out of the unemployed, 65% of them are the youth. And I want to say this, while politicians focus on the next elections, leaders should focus on the next generation. Focus on creating employment. God will bless you if the focus is not just about you yourself and your family. When you focus on making a difference in the community for which your business has flourished. And number 3, mentor the next generation. You know, the story of Mark Zuckerberg illuminates this point than anything else I know. As I speak to you today, born 1984, 14th of May, the young man who is 32 years of age was listed by Forbes magazine